guys, it's Drabble Geek here, and welcome to another CAS video. Now this time I am making 8 Sims for my Asylum challenge that I'm going to be starting real soon. I was really inspired by the English Simmers Asylum challenges that she's been doing. I'll link them if I remember. Please yell at me if I don't remember. But I decided to do my own. And this time I decided to do it a little differently. I decided that I wanted my Sims to have mental illnesses as best I could get them in the Sims with the traits and whatnot. So every Sim is pretty much randomized in terms of gender, race, and not age, because the rules state they have to be young adult. The only exception to that is my last 8th Sim, who I changed the genetics to a female just because I wanted a 50-50 split between my Sims. But other than that, everything is randomized. I may have changed like their skin tones every once in a while. So this first Sim that we are looking at, I called her Anna, and she has been diagnosed with anorexia. And yes, I have named them in a way so that I can remember what I diagnosed with. And anorexia nervosa, or anorexia for short, is characterized by low weight, fear of gaining weight, strong desire to be thin, and exercises excessively. So I gave her the active trait and the motivated trait, I believe that's what it's called. And of course, since the Sims doesn't have the insane trait, I gave them all the erratic trait. And one thing I want to do, since you have to complete a certain number of aspirations, I wanted the aspirations to closely relate to not symptoms, but therapies in real life that people who are actually suffering from what I gave them would go through, according to the rules, as best I could, because I wanted this to be as realistic as possible. So some common therapies for people with anorexia is psychotherapy, diet, family-based therapy, and nutrition. So this right here is Andre. I gave him anxiety disorder, which is characterized by significant feelings of anxiety and fear, fast heart rate, and shakiness. And some therapies are lifestyle changes, therapies, medication, remedy, like meditation and aromatherapy. So I gave him the cat lover trait. The dog lover trait, because dogs and animals, like therapy animals, help somewhat. And then I also gave him the motivated trait because I don't know about anyone else. This is just how I see everything, but my anxiety kind of stems from wanting to do all these things and being like super motivated to wanting to do a whole bunch of things. So I decided those kind of fit, since there wasn't really a trait that really went with anxiety. And this is Ben. I gave him the binge eating disorder, which is characterized by overeating. Therapies include counseling, medication, surgery. To be honest, I don't know too much about binge eating, so I felt like certain therapies would be getting in shape and maybe like building a healthier relationship with food. I did some research, but before I start, I'm probably going to take another week to do more research so I can be definite. And please also know that what I am saying it's just a general overview, and it's not true for everyone. It might be true in different amounts. It's not definite. So this is Deborah. I gave her major depressive disorder, which is characterized by low self-esteem, loss of interest in enjoyable activities, low energy, pain without clear cause, and as someone who also suffers from depression, I kind of like designed her after myself in a way. honestly, when I'm having like a major episode, I don't want to take care of my hair, so I just gave her like the chopping block a little bit. And then something that helps me with my depressive episodes is having lots of hobbies. So I gave her an aspiration to gain lots of knowledge, because that's in my mind like hobby kind of. And then I also gave her the lazy and gloomy trait. So this is Oscar, and I gave him obsessive compulsive disorder, and now that I'm looking at him again, I kind of made him look like Hitman 47 from that video game series. So I kind of modeled him after Monk, one of the most portrayed people with a obsessive compulsive disorder in media. So I gave him, similar to Monk, the same exact outfit for his everyday, his formal, his party, just because Monk has like the exact same outfit that he wears every single day. He has the same exact routine. So OCD is characterized as performing routines repeatedly, like doing hand washing over and over again, counting things. Once again, I don't know everything, so if there's stuff you want me to include, please yell at me in the comments, because I do not know everything. So some therapies are exposure response, tolerate discomfort, and medication. So I thought some therapies for him could be like finding activities that kind of sort of require the sim to get dirty, such as gardening or whatnot, or just like expressing themselves in a different way rather than like through anything else. So I also gave him the neat and perfectionist trait, because that is often how OCD is portrayed. So this is Chad, and I gave him claustrophobia, which is the fear of being in enclosed spaces, tight clothing. And then I also found out through my research that tight clothing could also be a trigger. So I gave him like as loose of clothing as I could in The Sims. I also didn't, for his everyday that he'd be wearing like all the time, I didn't make him wear shoes, because through my research, like shoes can be constricting sometimes. And some therapies for him, for claustrophobia in general, is cognitive therapy and exposure. So I figured maybe I would give him some activities that can be enjoyed outside, and then slowly start to integrate them into a confined space. So for that reason, I gave him the loves outdoors space, and I kind of gave him a clumsy trait because I thought that'd be interesting. So this is Sarah that we're doing right now. She has social anxiety, which is the fear of social situations, which leads to excessive blushing, excessive sweating, trembling, palpitations, and nausea. And I also suffer from a form of this, so I thought it'd be interesting. So I kind of, for Sarah, went with the kind of nerdy / artistic way of her, especially with the hair, because I like to express myself in a way, but I oftentimes don't, and I feel kind of like try and hide behind my brain. So that's kind of what I portrayed in her, and I also, for lots of her other outfits, kind of dimmed down the colors, like let her hair be the centerpiece of everything. So she wears a lot of darker colors, and therapies for this are excessive exercise promotion, like working out, exposure and social therapy, self-help, and medications. So I gave her the loner trait as well, and I think the good trait, I forget. And this is Ira, our last sim. Once again, I changed her gender and sex because I wanted a 50-50 split between male and female. And she has intermittent explosive disorder, which is characterized by explosive outbursts of anger and violence, often to the point of rage, disproportionate to the situation. Therapies for that include behavioral therapies and medications. So I was more so thinking just give her activities that she can do to cool off instead of getting angry. And I made her a little bit snooty, so we'll probably have fun with this. So these are the 8 Sims that I will be playing around with for the Asylum challenge. I'm not going to have them up on the gallery yet in case I want to change anything per suggestions from y'all in the comments, but I will see you guys then. Bye!